The web, internet and search engines are making a significant contribution to the evolution of humanity in these decades. The answer to any type of information is now within our reach with a simple click. Years ago there were encyclopedias, but there was only superficial information, and if you wanted to dig deep into the subject, you had to go to libraries. In libraries you had to search the shelves, and often, some books that had our answers had already been taken by someone else. You always had to be very patient, and the times were getting longer and longer. Today, with a click, in an instant, we have the answer, even if the charm of library environments and paper books has been lost. But today there is even more. Thanks to the evolution of information technology, machines are becoming a little more human. Robotics and the so-called artificial intelligence are replacing men and libraries permanently. Robotics and automation are slowly supplanting and replacing humans in doing repetitive jobs. But it goes further. They are also replacing other humans in sectors such as religion, social services, and a simple company for those who are lonely. As long as there is freedom of decision on what to choose, whether a human being or a robot, for certain professions cannot be discussed. Everyone makes the choices they consider most appropriate. The discussion regarding so-called artificial intelligence is very different. But what is AI? The so-called artificial intelligence, AI, uses mathematical algorithms in large computers to simulate what could be the most natural answers possible to any questions. In practice, these are large memories and CPUs that, instead of giving a typical result of a search engine with cold lists of websites, the replies are humanized so much that some AI servers respond directly to the user by voice. The answer is always based on the contents of myriads of gigabytes of memory, but is interpreted based on the algorithm that tries to give the most pertinent content possible. But machines do even more, because they are able to learn and memorize what they hear or find on the web with other mathematical algorithms. All this is called artificial intelligence. But what is intelligence? In dictionaries it is defined as follows: a complex of psychic and mental faculties that allow man to think, understand or explain facts or actions, develop abstract models of reality, understand and be understood by others, judge, and make him capable of adapting to new situations and modifying the situation itself when it presents obstacles to adaptation, typical of man, in which it develops gradually starting from childhood and in which it is accompanied by awareness and self-awareness. In practice, it is the ability to put together knowledge to give it a practical meaning, and is a characteristic of man. The first passage where the word intelligence is found in the Bible is Exodus 31:3. I have filled him with the Spirit of God, so that he has wisdom, intelligence and knowledge in all kinds of workmanship, to devise designs for gold, silver and bronze, to cut stones to be set, to carve wood and to do all kinds of work. While the last verse where the word intelligence is found in the Bible is Revelation 13:18, here is wisdom. Let him who has intelligence calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. In the first it is said of a man who knows how to do artisanal and artistic works, while the last in Revelation brings a riddle that no one has solved to this day. For the Bible, intelligence is combined with art and the ability to solve unknown things. Can the so-called AI do these things? Absolutely not. It can only take inspiration from what has already been done by man, mix it up and bring out something that is not new, just a mix, similar to a warmed over soup. Furthermore, if we ask the so-called artificial intelligence to solve some problems that no one has ever been able to understand, such as anti-gravity, well, it could not solve it. Not even the most powerful computer on Earth, not even after hundreds of hours of work. It could not solve it, impossible. This is because the computer takes information only from the man who programmed it, and if man does not know certain things, not even the computer will be able to provide them. There are many examples of how a computer cannot go beyond what man himself has taught it. For example, it could not produce a new type of art on the level of that of past centuries, but only copy what it has in memory and remake something worse. It could not write new poems, but only copy or merge those it has in memory. It could not solve scientific or astronomical problems, but would try without success, to solve them only with what it has in memory, with poor results. So, what they call AI, is just a machine that answers in a human way to questions that could be found in library. All this has nothing intelligent, but only a great capacity for memory and data processing. The first computer that managed to beat man in chess games was the famous IBM's Deep Blue in 1997. But did the computer use its intelligence to beat the Russian champion or something else? It used an elaborate program in which all the opponent's moves were programmed, in such a way as to leave no chance for any other tactic. It was not intelligent, but only fast in programming the moves. All computer programmers know these things, that the computer has no intelligence. But then why is it mistakenly called artificial intelligence? As explained in the series The Evidence, we are living in a very particular time on earth, the pre-tribulation. Jesus' words in Matthew 24:4, which explain the beginning of the tribulation, are related to deceptions. In fact, this is also a deception, and it is also very dangerous. If the common man comes to believe that these machines are truly intelligent, he will come to rely completely on computers. In the passage of Revelation chapter 13 verse 14 it is said, "And it was granted to him to animate the image of the beast, so that the image also spoke and could put to death as many as would not worship the image of the beast." A statue that speaks is described, and that was created by one of the beasts sent by Satan. It does not take much to understand how this statue that speak are nothing other than what is called artificial intelligence. Furthermore, it will happen that man will believe he is speaking to a computer, but in reality there is something evil behind it. Something evil that will force the man to have the famous sign made on his hand or forehead, obviously presenting it as a good thing, but in reality those men will be selling their soul to Satan. Are all AI algorithms dangerous? As we have seen, the so-called AI cannot have its own ideas or tastes or create something new. All it can do is draw from its own memory. When it comes to debatable topics, or personal preferences, the computer cannot give answers. These algorithms are programmed by men, and from the men themselves, the machine receives this type of information. If the person programming it has a certain type of religious or political preference, then the machine will automatically respond as it was programmed. Based on these arguments, often, the machine does not have enough information to give precise answers, and then what is called propaganda or censorship takes over. The machine will be programmed in this way. Even if someone thinks that are better than others, and thinks to have the right answer, well, he will be wrong too. This is because all men make mistakes, and even the best, if they were to program such a machine, would put their own mistakes into the machine. Even if we were to put a sacred book like the Bible, man would make mistakes in the interpretation, because man is imperfect and so will the machine. So in the world, any robot or computer with this pseudo-artificial intelligence is a deception. A deception already from the definition itself, which is not intelligence but only knowledge. The basic error consists precisely in considering it intelligence and placing faith as if it were infallible. Separate discussion must be made instead if we use these technologies, such as web search engines, for what they are, machines that can give us quick answers. Knowing that, because of who programs them, the answers on certain topics will inevitably be imperfect, we will be able to make our appropriate conclusions. This deception, of the so-called AI, was already prophesied 2,000 years ago in the book of Revelation. Many other prophecies have been made about the end times, the ones we are living in. All these prophecies are carefully described in the 12 videos of the series The Evidence. 7 videos describe how a star will become supernova and explode precisely in those years. The other 3 videos talk about the biblical prophecies that all point to the same date. We invite you to follow the entire series of videos, starting with one with an astronomical theme that describes the danger of supernovae.